Alright guys, so Jason here, and I'm basically going to try something a little bit new. I'm doing a little bit more repairs on my car, and one of the things that I wanted to actually take a look at was the dash panel that you see right here. So as you can see, you can only really see like parts of this green right here. The green right here, obviously the actual gauge arrow. My shifter gauge is fine, and then of course, like the emergency lights and everything like that are pretty much fine too. But the actual like gauges themselves, it's pretty hard to see like what my fuel gauge is, except for the fact that the indicator arrow is lit up, and then over here my temperature. But even like over here, like these. Oops, sorry about that. That was probably really bright. The light on my actual AC and everything like that are actually getting pretty low too. And over here, like my dial for actually controlling those, like it's like these are on max brightness. But anyway, this is a good look at what they look like in the dark. So you can't see them during the day. I mean, it's just they're too dull and it's too bright outside. But basically I'm going to be looking at replacing these. So in this video, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be showing you how I actually remove the dash panel from my Ford Focus. This is a 2000 model, and then how to actually reinstall the dash and change the lights. So just bear with me. I know it's incredibly dark right now, but it is nighttime and I needed to be able to show you guys exactly what I was going for. But yeah, see you guys soon. Alright, so we're back in my car. It's daytime now, and so we're actually going to work on removing the actual dash panel. So there's 3 screws that I have to take out first. So 1, 2, and 3. And then after we do that, it's just a matter of pulling this out. I think there's some screws behind here. There's also a matter of taking off this part of the steering wheel by pushing in on this and this right here. So that we can detach this part. And again, my car's kind of dusty. I don't realize it, but anyway, let's get started. So now it should just be a matter of pulling out this guy. So as I was saying, it's sort of connected underneath here. So what we're going to do is we're going to pop this out gently. We should just be able to pull this out completely. Oh, no, gotta disconnect the so we take off that little bit. Now we actually have access to is the actual dash panel. Let's just hide that away without losing it down the little hole here. So it looks like they actually have some more screws. Let me show you what I'm looking at. So, got a few of these. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So let's get those guys out, and I'm actually hoping that my screwdriver is the right size, which it almost was. A little bit smaller. Nope, I needed a different set of tools. Of course I do. Alright, so I ran into a little bit of trouble finding something that could actually turn them as far as making this easy, but I didn't have anything, so I gotta do this the hard way. Let me just say that if I ever have to do that again, I need to get some different tools. Basically, I just need a smaller socket. Anyway, now I should be able to just remove this. Now just be careful because it is, of course, plugged in right back here. Okay, if you can see what I'm pointing at, basically there's this little black cover over top of the actual plug, so just push push it forward, and it actually pops out the connector. So now I actually have my dash removed and everything, and we can take it inside and that should work on replacing all the lights. Alright, so I'm inside now and I've got my dash panel, and basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to start replacing all of the lights around the entire thing. So let's take a look at the back. Basically what we can see is we've got each of these little tiny things here. There's a whole bunch of them. So there's a whole bunch of tiny ones and then 3 big ones. And then it looks like I'm missing one, but it's probably because I don't actually have that thing there. If I have an extra one, I'll throw it there, but it's really not that big a concern. So let's get started. So I have a little map to help me out. And I have a few different colors. So I'm going to start with green because those are my turn signals. And then move my way on through the different colors. I'm actually going to fast forward through this part just to make this video nice and quick, but yeah, let's get started. Okay, I've basically replaced all of them around the board, even these guys here in the middle, and then all of these guys too. That's it's a fairly large amount of bulbs to replace, and like when I was looking at these, like some of these guys were basically like just blackened, and I'm wondering if that's been part of the issue that I've been having, or is it just the fact that they have a coating that was wearing off that was either that. I mean, they're 17 years old. So anyway, I replaced the original ones with LEDs, hoping that they're going to actually look a little bit brighter and better. So let's get this back into my car and see how it all looks. Alright, so I've gotten everything replaced. I replaced all the all the old light bulbs with LEDs, and so now I'm just going to screw it in. Okay, so now that I've got the actual dash put in, I can actually start reassembling this part of it. Let's get this in here. And now I can reattach the trunk button. Tell you what, this is a lot easier putting it back in than taking it out. And 3. Alright, so now that we got everything all put back together, let's take a quick look at the dash. And so far, so good. That looks pretty nice. These lights are showing up nice and bright, and everything seems to be pretty good. Let's check blinkers. Those are showing up real good. And then if we turn on the actual dash, I mean, it's too dark. I mean, it's too bright so far. Even like the little shift indicator is lit up. I'll come back a little bit later and we'll take a look at everything once it's a little bit darker. That way we can have a good idea of what it looks like in the nighttime. But yeah, we'll be right back. Alright, so it is now nighttime, or it's at least dark enough for this to work properly. But anyway, I've got all the lights in there, I've got everything all set up and running, and it seems like this is always on. It's much brighter than it has ever been. But that could just be that I put a bulb in incorrectly, but I checked it. I took this thing apart and put it back together like twice since I finished that last filming, because I've been trying to tweak it. And yeah, that is always on. But yeah, let's see what my dash actually looks like. And as you can see, everything is nicely lit up as compared to like what it was before. Like this side here was dim. Dill. This ain't no pickle. And so was this side. But the thing that I'm definitely noticing is that the color blue, which I picked, isn't really shining through. The actual dials and gauges are still quite dark in comparison, especially like if you look up around here. So what I'm probably going to end up doing is I'm going to look for some brighter bulbs to do that. If not LED, I might just end up going back to halogen. It could be that the actual rings are tinted different colors, which would mean that, you know, that's why the green actually shows through well there. That's why the blue shows through well. Oh my god, that is like super bright. Anyway, regardless, it was a good attempt for my first try at actually taking off the dashboard, replacing electronics inside my vehicle, and actually seeing if I can get it to work. But anyway, hopefully you've enjoyed this. Hopefully you've at least learned something. The one thing that I definitely have learned is that don't fully assemble your dashboard when you're putting the lights back in, especially if you're doing the LEDs, because there is definitely a clear positive and negative, whereas with your basic light bulb, it doesn't really matter. You can put it in either way, but with an LED, you're definitely going to want to make sure that it's in correctly, because I had to flip a few of these around just to even get them to light up properly. But yeah, lesson learned. But yeah, if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions for how I could have approached this better, or maybe even like a better bulb that I can use for illuminating the center light, which, I mean, if you look at this, I mean, these are all lit by the same thing. The actual dial gauges are lit by the same lights that are lighting the actual outer ring, but they're just closer to the light source. But yeah, thanks guys. We'll see you guys later. This is a lot of fun. It took a little bit of time, but it was a good learning experience. But yeah, bye-bye. I need to also add that in between checking to see how they look at nighttime and during the daytime, I actually had to go buy this. It's a 1/4-inch driver, screwdriver type thing, with a 9/30 seconds hex bit. That was the bit that I needed to actually get those screws out, because I was definitely not going to do those by hand or with the socket wrench as I had been doing it previously, because trust me, this made 2 or 3 minutes taking out those screws into like 10 seconds. So anyway, 9/30 seconds, get yourself a driver if you probably already have that. I'm not experienced with tools, but yeah, thanks, bye.